All right, Sunday, September 28th, 2025, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard. I put most of this into the market report that's going to be published shortly, but just going to briefly skim through markets and what we're seeing and what we're looking at for this coming week. So, before I dive in, just want to talk a little bit more macro in terms of how this month and how this year has actually played out so far. And it's been a very much a bull market. So September typically, if you look as far as analysis, statistics, it's almost always a down month. And granted, we still have Monday and Tuesday for the final days of September before we end Q3. Markets are up a lot. I believe we're up about 2.5 to 3% on S&P for September, which for a month that's historically down, that's a pretty sizable month. So with that said, I do want to highlight it's been a hell of a run here with the past couple of trades. We've had a number of these accumulation breakout trades, accumulation value bets, and I'll talk through some of these when we get over to the stocks, but been just a phenomenal year as far as trading options. The futures haven't been as good. I would say futures, which typically is inversely correlated to my long portfolio and then inversely correlated to sort of this upward trajectory of just stocks having a natural drift upward. Normally in down years, we want to make up for that on the futures trading just based on our system. I have a momentum system, but the system I'm referring to is our sort of commitment to traders contrarian reversal. That has not been as strong, but we have an entire quarter to go here for the rest of the year, so we'll see how that makes up. But I think we're down a little bit on the futures trading, but on the actual accumulation breakout trades and the stock trades and options, we're up significantly this year. So without further ado, let's take a look at the futures, what we're looking at. S&P is currently set up for me both with the commitment of trader data and our momentum system as a long buy, which we maintain our long. Data is looking good here. Looks like we're going to continue higher until I see a reason to believe that that's not the case. Australian dollar, which is actually an negatively correlated, it's inversely correlated with the US dollar. I have this set up based on my index as a short. And we immediately went into profit when we started shorting Australian dollar last week. We had a nice red candle here down, and then it's sort of chopping a little bit up into potentially a bear flag. We saw the dollar actually dip. I believe it was the Fed meeting maybe last week. The dollar had a reversal day and started ticking higher. So I thought that was interesting. I think if the dollar strengthens here, that's probably not good for overall markets, but that would be good for the Australian dollar short, which we're currently in. So it's good hedge nonetheless, and we're in an immediate profit here on a nice downtrend. Russell, we are currently in from a momentum system standpoint, but I have this as an exit, which I've exited previously from a commitment to trader standpoint, where the speculators were no longer crowded in one direction. However, for momentum, we maintain our long as we continue to tick up on the charts there. Yen is starting to look interesting. It's sold off pretty much since this reversal day back in April 22nd. It's just been down ever since, and we're down to new historic lows. Actually, looks like we're about to break the low that we saw back at the end of July. So yeah, that's a rough looking chart. I mean, at some point you're going to get a move up, and you're probably going to get sort of a yen carry potential squeeze. But right now, I don't see anything reversing here. It just continues to tick lower. But we have that getting set up near a long for yen. It's not set up yet, but it's getting close. Gold had us actually in a position. Momentum was signaled long, which we see here, but with just such a monster candle, it's hard to get any size there. And then commitment to trader data had us set up for a short. So when that happens, I go neutral. I don't take any trades, and that was actually the case this past week. And now the commitment to trader data has eased up, so we're likely going to enter this at least for some small size per our momentum system. We'll look at that tomorrow morning as far as entries. Copper, we are still maintaining our long. We've had some nice strength over the past couple of days, and then a little bit of a reversal, and then hopefully a move to continue higher. Have that set up. That's our momentum system, I believe. Yeah, momentum. Cocoa setup is along. It's just done nothing but selling since back in May. So still looking for sort of a bottoming pattern there. And then sugar's kind of the same deal. It's just sort of down, and we've had a little bit of a reversal, but still not too much strength. Contract's about to roll. We'll see where that next contract month ends up. When we look at our stock, we've had a phenomenal trade for breakouts on Tesla, which I have taken some profits and sized down. We are currently shorting Oklo, and I'm really looking to short any of these like high-flying momentum stocks. Oklo doesn't even have revenue, and they're projecting no revenue until I think 2030. One of these nuclear companies, I believe. So we have to short the stocks where it makes sense, and a stock like that, it makes sense to just try to fight a little bit of the trend here, and it's already had pretty dramatic reversal past couple of days, so that is a position I like to be in here. Apple is approaching our second price target. We've taken some profits off the table. Alibaba has already passed our profit targets. We said 170 was the second target, so we made a phenomenal trade there. Rocket Lab is another one that I look to short, but currently fighting the tape, so not too much going on there. Other trades that are worth mentioning, I think Lulu here is great as far as an accumulation value play, assuming the bottom's in. If we don't go below 170 here and we just sort of bottom out and continue higher, I like the trade on Lulu. I like it a lot. Other trades that I can call out, Kenvue is another one, the Tylenol owner, maker, just with political nonsense that's tied into this has caused a dramatic sell-off, I think 20 or 30% drop. Baidu has already hit our profit target. We've taken most shares off the table. It's had a bit of a reversal, but now it's sort of bottoming out a little bit there. UPS, I'm still watching for a bottom. AMD, I'm in a small position on the pullback. CRM, we're probably going to exit. And JD, we're in a small position as well on the long side. So yeah, that's sort of what we're looking at here. I like TLT as well. I'll just make a quick mention of anything below 89, I think, is a good value play. If I have to update sort of my accumulation range, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little box of where I would want to accumulate this. And if you notice, we're actually making higher lows. So we had a low here, higher low, and then a higher low. So this is bullish structure. And I would like to see this probably anywhere from, in order to maintain that bullish structure, man, I would say probably in this range from, call it 88 down to about 86 would be a range that I would accumulate this. And if it breaks below this 85 and 85.4 level, then I would probably want to get out of that. But yeah, that's a nice bottoming pattern. I would like to see that bounce off. We accumulate lower here and then head higher. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for the week. Take a look at the report and feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and we will talk again. If not next week, then the following week. Thanks a lot. Take care.